Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever noticed that people will always find a way to frustrate you? Someone cuts you off in traffic and suddenly your whole day is ruined. A friend betrays you and you can't sleep at night. A coworker offends you and you carry that bitterness for weeks. It happens so often that many of us have accepted it as a normal part of life. We go through our days reacting to the words and actions of others, allowing them to dictate our emotions and steal our peace. But what if I told you that it doesn't have to be this way? What if I told you that you have the power to remain calm, happy, and unshaken no matter what happens around you? Today, I want to show you how to live in complete peace, how to never get angry or bothered by anyone again. Because the truth is, anger is not a reaction, it's a decision. Frustration is not something people cause, it is something we allow. Most of us have been conditioned to believe that our emotions are automatic, that when someone offends us, we must feel offended. When someone insults us, we must feel hurt. When someone rejects us, we must feel unworthy. But none of this is true. Your emotions are entirely within your control. You decide how you respond to any situation. And once you truly understand this, you will never again let anyone have power over your feelings. Think about it. Every day we encounter situations that test our patience. Someone speaks to us rudely and we instantly feel the need to defend ourselves. A coworker takes credit for our work, and we feel resentment building inside. A stranger glares at us in public, and suddenly we feel uneasy or disrespected. But in all these situations, the real question is not what others have done, but how we choose to interpret and react to their actions. If someone cuts you off in traffic, does that mean your whole day must be ruined? Or can you choose to take a deep breath, let it go, and continue enjoying your day? If someone insults you, does their opinion truly define your worth? Or can you decide that their words have no power over you? No one in this world has the ability to control your emotions unless you give them permission. It is you who decides how much value to give to someone's words or actions. The problem is that most of us live as though we are thermometers instead of thermostats. A thermometer reacts to the temperature around it. If it's hot, the thermometer rises. If it's cold, it drops. This is how many people live their lives, constantly reacting to their circumstances. If people are kind, they feel good. If people are rude, they feel bad. But a thermostat does not react. It sets the temperature. It controls the environment rather than being controlled by it. This is how we should live. Instead of letting others dictate our emotions, we should decide in advance how we want to feel and refuse to be shaken by external circumstances. Now, some of you might be thinking, but I can't help it. When people insult me, it hurts. When someone does me wrong, I have to respond. But listen carefully. People do not have the power to inject emotions into your heart. They can only present an opportunity, and it is you who decides how to respond. Imagine two people walking through a marketplace. Suddenly, a man insults both of them. The first person gets furious, shouts back, demands an apology, and walks away angry. But the second person hears the same insult, smiles, and keeps walking as if nothing happened. Now, ask yourself this. Did the insult have power, or did the people give it power? The insult was the same, but the reaction was different. One person chose to be offended, while the other chose peace. This is proof that your emotions are your responsibility. Many of us believe that our feelings are automatic, but in reality, they follow our thoughts, and our thoughts are shaped by our beliefs. If you believe that people's words have power over you, then you will always be a prisoner to their opinions. But if you believe that you alone decide how you feel, then no one can rob you of your peace. This is the key to true emotional freedom. The moment you stop allowing external factors to dictate your happiness, you take back control over your life. There will always be people who try to frustrate you. There will always be situations that test your patience. But when you decide that nothing is worth your peace, you will walk through life with a calmness that cannot be shaken. The strongest person is not the one who shouts the loudest, but the one who remains calm when others lose control. The wisest person is not the one who wins arguments, but the one who refuses to argue over foolish things. And the person with true power is not the one who controls others, but the one who has mastered their own emotions. Starting today, make a decision that you will no longer let people's words or actions determine how you feel. Your peace is too valuable to be placed in the hands of those who do not deserve it. You are in control, and when you embrace this truth, you will experience a freedom that few people ever do. Most people go through life reacting to their circumstances without realizing that they have the power to shape their emotional responses. They allow external situations, other people's words, and unpredictable events to dictate how they feel. If something good happens, they are happy. If something bad happens, they are upset. If someone praises them, they feel confident. If someone criticizes them, they feel worthless. This kind of emotional instability comes from living like a thermometer, constantly rising and falling based on the environment around them. A thermometer has no control over itself. It simply reflects the temperature of its surroundings. Unfortunately, this is how many people live their lives, always at the mercy of what happens to them and how others treat them. But there is another way to live, a way that brings stability, strength, and peace, regardless of what happens in the world around you. Instead of being a thermometer, reacting to the environment, you can be a thermostat, setting the emotional temperature of your own life. A thermostat does not simply respond to changes in temperature, it controls the temperature. It sets the atmosphere instead of being controlled by it. In the same way, you have the ability to decide how you will feel, no matter what is happening around you. You can choose to remain calm even when others are angry. You can choose to stay positive even when things don't go as planned. You can choose to maintain your peace even when people try to frustrate you. This is what it means to take control of your emotions instead of letting your emotions control you. Imagine two people facing the same stressful situation. Perhaps they both receive unexpected bad news at work, or maybe they both experience a sudden change in their personal lives. One person reacts immediately with frustration, allowing anxiety and stress to consume them. They complain, feel overwhelmed, and let the situation ruin their entire day. The second person, however, takes a deep breath, acknowledges the situation, and decides to stay calm. They focus on what they can control and let go of what they cannot. The same situation happened to both of them, but their reactions were completely different. Why? Because one person acted as a thermometer, reacting without control, while the other acted as a thermostat, choosing to set their emotional state rather than letting the external situation dictate it. The ability to control your emotions is one of the most powerful skills you can develop. Life is full of challenges, disappointments, and unexpected difficulties. People will let you down, things will not always go your way, and situations will arise that test your patience. But how you respond to these moments is what truly defines you. If you allow circumstances to control your emotions, you will always be at the mercy of life's ups and downs. However, if you decide in advance that you will not let external events shake you, you will find a level of peace and stability that few people ever achieve. Some may argue that emotions are natural and that it's impossible to control how we feel in every situation. While it is true that we will always experience emotions, the key is not to suppress them, but to manage them effectively. You may feel frustration, but you do not have to let it take over your entire day. You may feel hurt, but you do not have to dwell in pain and allow it to shape your future actions. You may feel anger, but you do not have to react in a way that escalates conflict or damages your peace. By learning to control your responses, you shift from being a thermometer to being a thermostat. You become the one who decides how you will experience life, rather than being controlled by life's unpredictable nature. It all begins with awareness. Start noticing how often you react automatically to situations. The next time someone says something offensive, pause before responding. Ask yourself whether their words deserve the power to affect your emotions. When things don't go as planned, instead of immediately getting frustrated, take a moment to focus on what you can control. These small changes in your mindset will lead to incredible transformations in how you experience life. Being a thermostat in life means making a conscious choice every day. It means deciding that no matter what happens, you will not allow negativity to dictate your emotions. It means understanding that your peace is far too valuable to be placed in the hands of other people or unpredictable circumstances. And it means stepping into the kind of emotional freedom that only comes when you take full responsibility for how you feel. The sooner you embrace this mindset, the sooner you will walk in a life of peace, confidence, and strength, unaffected by the chaos around you. Many people go through life believing that their emotions are entirely out of their control. They assume that when someone insults them, they must feel hurt. When someone betrays them, they must feel broken. When someone frustrates them, they must respond with anger. But this belief is completely false. Your emotions are not forced upon you by external circumstances. They are choices you make, whether consciously or unconsciously. Every time you get angry, every time you feel offended, and every time you allow someone's words to dictate your mood, you are making a decision to give them control over your emotions. Imagine walking down the street and someone shouts an insult at you. One person might immediately feel anger rise within them, shout back, and carry resentment for the rest of the day. Another person, hearing the exact same insult, might simply smile and keep walking, completely unbothered. The same event happened to both, yet their reactions were completely different. Why? Because one person chose to be offended, while the other refused to give power to the insult. This proves that no one can force you to feel a certain way unless you allow them to. People often say, I can't help it. When someone disrespects me, I feel disrespected. But the truth is, the feeling of disrespect does not come from their words. It comes from how you interpret those words. If someone calls you a name, it does not change who you are. If someone spreads lies about you, it does not define your character. If someone ignores you, it does not decrease your worth. What truly affects you is not what happens, but how you choose to think about it. When you believe that people's words have power over you, you give them permission to control your emotions. But when you understand that your feelings are shaped by your own thoughts, you reclaim your power. This is why some people seem unshaken no matter what happens. You may have met people who remain calm in the face of insults, who refuse to get angry even when others try to provoke them, and who keep their peace regardless of what is happening around them. It is not because they are emotionless. It is because they have mastered the ability to choose their reactions. They understand that allowing negativity into their hearts is a decision, and they refuse to let external forces dictate their inner state. Think about how much energy is wasted by holding on to anger, resentment, and bitterness. A single rude comment can ruin someone's entire day simply because they allow it to. A betrayal can lead to weeks, months, or even years of emotional pain. Not because the betrayal itself has ongoing power, but because the person continues to dwell on it. The truth is, the only person who suffers from holding on to negativity is you. The person who hurt you has likely moved on while you are still carrying the weight of their actions. But why give them that power? Why allow their behavior to dictate your happiness? The moment you realize that you alone decide how you feel, you set yourself free. This is not to say that you should suppress emotions or ignore your feelings. Instead, it is about understanding that your emotions do not have to control you. Acknowledge them, process them, and then decide how you want to respond. If someone offends you, instead of reacting immediately, take a moment to breathe and ask yourself, is this worth my peace? Most of the time, you will realize it is not. You will see that the insult, the betrayal, the frustration, all of it only has as much power as you choose to give it. When you live with this mindset, you experience a level of freedom that most people never achieve. You stop being a prisoner to other people's words. You stop allowing circumstances to dictate your joy. You stop wasting energy on things that do not truly matter. Instead, you walk through life with confidence, knowing that no one can control your emotions unless you allow them to. You become unshakable, untouchable, and at peace. And that is a power greater than anything external circumstances can take away. Many people go through life without realizing how much control they have given to others over their emotions. The moment someone upsets them, they react with anger. The second they face criticism, they feel discouraged. When someone offends them, they carry the bitterness for days, weeks, or even years. But what they fail to see is that in doing so, they are allowing others to dictate their happiness, their peace, and their overall well-being. Every time you let someone's words or actions ruin your day, you are placing control of your emotions in their hands. Every time you allow negativity from others to turn into your own negativity, you are letting their weakness become your weakness. But ask yourself, is that really the kind of life you want to live? Think about how often people let a single negative interaction control their entire mood. Perhaps a driver cuts them off in traffic, and instead of letting it go, they fume about it for hours. Maybe a coworker makes a rude comment and they spend the rest of the day replaying it in their head. Or maybe they hear gossip about themselves and suddenly their confidence is shaken. But in all these situations, the real issue is not what happened, it is how they chose to respond. The person in traffic, the rude coworker, or the gossip did not have the power to take away. Rather, it was their own decision to let those moments steal their joy. This is why it is so important to take back control of your emotions. When you allow others to dictate how you feel, you become a slave to their actions. You find yourself walking on eggshells, constantly worrying about how people will treat you or what they will say. But the truth is, you cannot control other people. You cannot control their words, their behavior, or their opinions. The only thing you can control is yourself. Your thoughts, your reactions, and your emotions. The moment you realize this, you step into a new level of freedom. When someone offends you, you have a choice. You can either hold on to that offense and let it weigh you down, or you can choose to let it go and protect your peace. When someone criticizes you, you can take it personally and allow it to shake your confidence, or you can remind yourself that their opinion does not define you. When someone betrays you, you can let the pain consume you, or you can decide that you will not allow their actions to take away your joy. The choice is always yours. The problem is that too many people let offenses control them. Instead of moving forward, they hold on to past hurts. Instead of forgiving, they cling to resentment. Instead of choosing peace, they allow anger to build inside them. But what they do not realize is that they are only hurting themselves. Holding on to offense does not punish the person who wronged you. It only robs you of your own happiness. The bitterness you carry does not affect them. It only poisons your own heart. The anger you hold on to does not change what happened. It only keeps you trapped in the past. So why give people that power? Why allow someone's negativity to become your negativity? Why let their actions determine your happiness? The truth is, you are far too valuable to let small offenses steal your joy. Your peace is worth more than someone else's rude comment. Your happiness is worth more than a single bad interaction. Your confidence is worth more than another person's opinion. When you take control of your emotions, you no longer live at the mercy of what others say or do. You stop reacting to every little offense and start choosing peace instead. You no longer waste energy on things that do not matter. You realize that nothing and no one is worth losing your joy over. And when you walk in this kind of freedom, no insult, no betrayal, and no offense can shake you. You become unmovable, unshaken, and completely at peace within yourself. Too many people go through life believing that their value is determined by the opinions of others. They spend years seeking approval, trying to impress people, and adjusting themselves to fit expectations that were never their own. They allow criticism to make them feel small, rejection to make them feel unworthy, and praise to determine their sense of self-worth. But the truth is, your value has never been based on what others think of you. It never has been, and it never will be. No opinion, no comment, no rejection, and no amount of applause can change who you truly are. Imagine a diamond. Whether it is displayed in a jewelry store or buried deep in the dirt, its value does not change. Whether people admire it or walk past it without noticing, its worth remains the same. It does not require validation to be valuable. It simply is. And the same is true for you. You were created with purpose, filled with potential and designed with greatness. Yet too many people fail to see their own worth because they have spent their lives measuring themselves by the opinions of others. One of the biggest traps in life is seeking approval from people who do not even understand your value. People will always have opinions. Some will celebrate you while others will criticize you. Some will recognize your worth while others will ignore it. But if your self-worth is tied to what others think, you will always live in emotional instability. One moment you will feel confident, and the next, one negative comment will shake you. One day you will feel loved, and the next, rejection will make you question everything. But why live this way when the truth is so much simpler? Your value was set the day you were born, and nothing anyone says or does can ever change that. Think about how much energy people waste trying to prove themselves to others. They buy things they do not need, trying to impress people who do not even care. They change who they are to fit into groups that do not value them. They spend their time seeking applause, only to realize that the same people clapping today may be silent tomorrow. But here's the truth. The people who truly matter in your life will see your worth without you having to prove it. The people who truly love you will not require you to earn their approval. And the people who truly respect you will value you for who you are, not for what you do to impress them. When you stop seeking validation from others, you find freedom. When you no longer depend on the opinions of people to feel confident, you gain an unshakable sense of self-worth. When you truly understand that your value is not up for debate, you stop wasting time worrying about who likes you and who does not. You realize that their perception of you is not your responsibility. Their inability to see your worth does not decrease your worth. Their rejection does not define you. Their approval does not complete you. Think about a beautiful painting hanging in a gallery. Some people may walk past it without a second glance, while others may stand in awe of its beauty. But does the painting lose value because someone failed to appreciate it? Of course not. The painting remains valuable whether it is admired or ignored, and that is exactly how you should see yourself. If someone does not see your worth, that is their loss, not yours. If someone rejects you, it is not because you lack value. It is simply because they are not meant to be part of your journey. When you stop living for approval, you start living with confidence. You stop shrinking yourself to fit into spaces that were never meant for you. You stop doubting yourself because of someone else's opinion. You stop letting criticism define you. Instead, you walk through life knowing that your worth is already established. You no longer let negativity affect you, rejection shake you, or opinions control you. And when you live with that kind of confidence, nothing can break you. When you stop seeking validation from others, you find freedom. When you no longer depend on the opinions of people to feel confident, you gain an unshakable sense of self-worth. When you truly understand that your value is not up for debate, you stop wasting time worrying about who likes you and who does not. You realize that their perception of you is not your responsibility. Their inability to see your worth does not decrease your worth. Their rejection does not define you. Their approval does not complete you. Think about a beautiful painting hanging in a gallery. Some people may walk past it without a second glance, while others may stand in awe of its beauty. But does the painting lose value because someone failed to appreciate it? Of course not. The painting remains valuable whether it is admired or ignored, and that is exactly how you should see yourself. If someone does not see your worth, that is their loss, not yours. If someone rejects you, it is not because you lack value. It is simply because they are not meant to be part of your journey. When you stop living for approval, you start living with confidence. You stop shrinking yourself to fit into spaces that were never meant for you. You stop doubting yourself because of someone else's opinion. You stop letting criticism define you. Instead, you walk through life knowing that your worth is already established. You no longer let negativity affect you, rejection shake you, or opinions control you. And when you live with that kind of confidence, nothing can break you.